These are the cleaning instructions for brewers with a BrewKeg10, our combined conical fermenter and keg. This product allows a brewer to ferment, carbonate, clarify and dispense all from the same vessel. If you have your own heating and cooling capability, then the BrewKeg and the items shown here are an easy way to get started. An ideal setup is to have the BrewKeg10 inside a Williams worn kegerator and use a temperature controller and heat belt to keep it warm during the fermentation stage. And if you use two BrewKeg10s, when you're at the cold dispensing stage, you can be pouring a different beverage through each tap. And in addition to the equipment, you'll also need a Williams worn ingredient pack or your own all-grain wort. So let's get started. Firstly, we need to set up the CO2 supply. Ensure the gas line with the grey quick disconnect fitting is inserted all the way into the push lock fitting under the adjusting knob on the gas regulator. Then connect the regulator to the cylinder securely and open the cylinder top valve. Then set the pressure on the low pressure gauge to 1.1 bar or 16 psi by turning the adjusting knob clockwise. If you are using a SodaStream bottle, please notice that there is an adapter that Williams Worn provides that fits between the SodaStream bottle and the regulator. Once the CO2 is set up, start to boil 1 litre or 34 fluid ounces of water in the kitchen kettle. Then remove any pressure in the vessel by pressing the button on the VPRV. Then remove the lid by pushing its locking arm anti-clockwise and slipping the lid out from under the rim. The beverage out tube should be inserted to the beverage out port under the lid. If it's not, just insert it as shown here. The other port is the gas in port and it has notches in its base hex. In latter steps, when you need to put the lid back on, place the O-ring on a flat surface so you can see the parallel sides, and pick it up and place it on the lid with its parallel parts in line with the parallel parts of the lid. Then insert the lid into the keg and rotate it 90 degrees. Then use the post fittings to jiggle it into place before closing it by pushing the locking arm sideways. And should you have trouble connecting the gas in and beverage out fittings to the ports on the lid, try moistening the black O-rings on the ports with a little water. It's a good idea to regularly check the state of the O-rings as well. They are inexpensive parts and you should check that they aren't worn or frayed or split. If they don't form a good seal, gas or beverage can leak out around the ports. A gas leak can contribute to emptying of your CO2 cylinder, and a liquid leak can make a mess on your floor. These parts are consumable parts and can be purchased through our website. Then close the vessel butterfly valve and remove the sediment bottle. The first time you unpack your brew keg, you'll find a temperature indicator strip inside the sediment bottle. This needs to be taken out and attached to the outside of the vessel. Place the BrewKeg10 over a sink or drain and open the butterfly valve. Use a water source to rinse off any beverage residue or yeast ring from a previous brew. The water source can be, for example, a tap or a water hose or a rinse bottle full of water. Drain all the liquid out of the vessel and close the butterfly valve. Then fill the vessel cone with tap water and dip the non-scratch sponge into the water and scrub the internal surface of the vessel. Then open the vessel butterfly valve again and give the vessel another rinse with water. Then close the butterfly valve and add 15 grams or a heaped tablespoon or 1 capful of Williams Worn brewery detergent to the vessel. Then add the 1 litre or 34 fluid ounces of boiling water from the kitchen kettle. Ensure the lid seal is still in its proper position and then put the lid on the BrewKeg10 by slipping it under the vessel rim and turning its locking arm clockwise to seal it. Then circulate the keg in an upright position for 10 seconds to dissolve the detergent in the cone into the hot water. Then tip the keg upside down and circulate it again for 10 seconds so that the hot liquid soaks and cleans the underside of the lid and the vessel internal top area. Then hold the keg horizontally and shake it up and down for 10 seconds so that the hot liquid loops around the walls of the keg. The hot detergent will dissolve organic residue and also pasteurize the insides of the vessel to avoid infection. Then as soon as you've finished shaking, and while there is still pressure in the keg because of the shaking, place the keg upright and attach your draft beer line and open your draft beer tap for about 1 second. We don't want to take more than 100 ml or 3.4 fluid ounces of hot liquid out the beer line now because we need the remaining liquid in the vessel for the sediment bottle clean in the next step. In the case of a kegerator, you'll be attaching the beverage outfitting that leads to the draft beer tap on top of the kegerator. Once connected, open the flow controller and pull the beer tap to get a flow for 1 or 2 seconds. If for some reason there isn't enough pressure build up to get the hot detergent out, just attach your CO2 system to the gas import for a few seconds and this will give you the pressure to clean the beer line. In the case of a kegerator, just make sure the CO2 cylinder is on at the back and then attach the gas import for a few seconds. Please note, when connecting the gas dispense line to the brew keg or any other keg, do not connect to the liquid post. If this is done and the regulator is not on or not set to your desired dispense pressure, liquid can flow back into the regulator and cause damage. If you are concerned about this, you can buy a non-return valve from our website and insert it into the line. In any case, once you've had your 1 second of flow, disconnect your draft beer line. Next, remove pressure in the vessel by pressing the button on the VPRV, then screw the sediment bottle back onto the vessel butterfly valve and open it and allow the remaining hot liquid to flood the sediment bottle. Let it stand for 20 seconds minimum, which is enough to pasteurize the bottle. Then close the vessel butterfly valve and remove the sediment bottle. Dump its contents and rinse the sediment bottle several times with cold water to remove the detergent residue. Then remove the vessel lid and rinse the beverage out tube, the underside of the lid and the seal all with water. Then open the vessel butterfly valve again and rinse all the internal surface areas of the brew keg with water. It is important to remove all the detergent residue. Drain all the water and then close the butterfly valve. Then fill the cone half full of water and put the lid back on. Then connect the grey fitting of your gas supply to the gas import on the lid and add pressure for a few seconds. Then connect your black fitting of your draft beer line to the output on the lid and open your draft beer tap and allow a flow of water to come to push out the detergent that's been soaking in that line. Once again, in the case of a kegerator setup, this will be water coming out the beer tap on the font. Once all the water is out and gas is coming out the tap, disconnect the black quick disconnect fitting from the beverage output. Then push the button on the VPRV to release all remaining pressure and remove the brew keg lid and place it upside down on a table. Then place the BrewKeg10 ready for the addition of ingredients. See the next instructional video, Step 2 Mix, to see how to add the ingredients.